Let me bid a very, very good afternoon to each of you and extend a very warm welcome. My name is Isha Bhalla, and I am indeed pleased to welcome a room full of some brilliant smiles who truly understand what hospitality is all about, who truly understand what experiences are all about. So before we begin, may I request you all to please put your hands together for yourselves and your brilliant teams who create experiences like no one else does. Thank you so very much for joining us right here at Marriott International Global Design and Development Conference 2025, a very, very exciting edition for so many reasons. We bring to you this brilliant show powered by Hotelier India. May I also take a moment and thank our presenting partner, Howell, our co-sponsored by partner Jaguar Group. A big thank you to all our associate partners, Garnet Interiors, Quantum, Networks, IEVO, and of course, all our category partners, our exhibit partners, our conference partners. Through the course of the day, you'll get enough and more opportunities to engage with them. But the biggest thank you to each of you. It isn't easy taking out time in our very busy schedules, but you have made it possible and joined us. So thank you so very much for being a part of this spectacular day, and we promise to make it worth your while. Every bit of it is going to be a learning experience. So as we kickstart, and as I take this opportunity and welcome you once again on behalf of Marriott International, CG Hospitality, and Concept Hospitality, it is a moment of pride for us today. And I say that because earlier this year, in the month of May, right here in Mumbai, we proudly announced our partnership, a fantastic collaboration with CG Hospitality and Concept Hospitality, a very, very powerful alliance that brings the Fern Residency, the Fern Habitat into the Marriott family. And I think that deserves a round of applause. So let's hear it up, please. Yes, indeed. Less than 2 months ago, we hosted our very first owners meeting to align our joint mission. And what is that mission? That mission is indeed to leverage and take forward Marriott International's nearly 100 years of legacy of creating experiences, of global partnerships coming together, and making sure that we tap into the Fern's deep local presence that they are so very proud of. And that is what brings us to this spectacular day. Today, we're so excited as we unveil the brand that we have co-created. Well, we'll be talking about brand strategy, we'll be talking about design space, we'll be talking about Series by Marriott, which is an affordable yet a way for us to bring about aspirational, local, yet bringing about a touch of global to it all. And at this moment, I am privileged to have amongst us leaders who've not just made this happen, have been very instrumental in driving this force, but at the same time, leaders who we have a lot to learn from. The first leader that I'm going to invite here on stage is a voice who's very well respected in the industry, a voice who one looks forward to hearing. We are so privileged to have him here with us today. Please put your hands together as I extend a very warm welcome to Mr. Rajiv Menon, President, Marriott International Asia Pacific, excluding China. Like I said, a key architect of the industry, the hospitality segment, someone who's taken the name of Marriott all the way up. Thank you so much, sir, and a very warm welcome to you. To accompany him here on stage, may I request all of you to please put your hands together as I welcome Mr. Rahul Chaudhary, CEO and Managing Director, CG Corp Global and CG Hospitality Global. Like I said, a visionary leader who truly has hospitality in his blood. A very warm welcome to you and thank you so much for joining in. May I request all of you to please put your hands together as I welcome Mr. Sohail Kanambile, Managing Director, Concept Hospitality, someone who brings deep expertise of the industry right here. And may I welcome all three of you to please join us center stage so we have some amazing moments with you all right here. And let's hear it up for all three of them once again as they address this very august gathering.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. As was said a little earlier, We announced this great partnership about 2 months ago. We got our partners together in this room. We spent a bit of time, and today is a little bit of a report card of what we have done so far in the last 60 days together. But before we start on this journey of reporting out, I just want to take the opportunity again to welcome every single one of you. I know it takes a lot of time to travel, to join us for these meetings, but they are very important from our perspective because not only what we are co-creating with Suhail and Rahul, it's about learning from you. It's about getting your feedback on everything we're doing in this journey together. So from my perspective, again, on behalf of Marriott, a very, very warm welcome. I would also like to acknowledge that this is something that our team has been doing for the last few years. So the global design Confluence was put together many years ago because, as you probably know, Marriott today has 168 operating hotels in India. We have another 115 or so under construction, which really creates incredible amount of opportunity for our partners to come together and showcase the best of the best. So big part of this meeting was always about bringing number of our partners together to learn from each other, to put on prototype rooms, to showcase what we have to offer, the best available in the country in terms of interior design, in terms of architecture, in terms of other critical work that a hotel needs to come alive. And the meeting has been a grand success over the last few years. And this year, particularly, we decided that the first day will be dedicated to our Fern partners, exclusive to our Fern partners only, because, as I said earlier, we got all of you together about 2 months ago for the first time. This feels a little bit more like a family reunion where we want to share with you what we have achieved in the last 60 days, but also, more importantly, take your feedback on some of the work you're going to see being showcased. There's some real exciting stuff, and please, 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 we've specifically requested you to come back after some of these things have been revealed. Please make sure you take lots of notes, and I love to have questions that we are able to answer, because ultimately, this is a journey we are on together, and we want to build this growth that we are on in an incredible way, harmonized as much as we physically can. On my side, I am thrilled to have two partners like this, both Suhail and Rahul. It's been an incredible journey so far. Now, between three of us, you figured out who are the workers and who's the banker or the financier.
The assistant, right?
But I'll leave that for a separate day. So I'm going to hand it over to Suhail to offer his remarks as well. Thank you, Suhail. Over to you.
Thank you, and thank you everyone for coming in today. I think it's a huge opportunity to see so many familiar faces coming back again in such a short time frame. This last 2 months has been a tremendous journey. I think the way we structured this partnership, the response that is coming out of it is being overwhelming. We're getting calls from all corners of the globe, actually, not only India, but from all corners of the globe to see how we can associate and grow this vision together. But my instruction to the team and commitment to all the owners is that we've got to be able to deliver what we're promising. And that is where we are at currently. So we are looking at doing our first set of hotels, showing that this transition is really possible, what we really need to do to bring in this transition, and how we can take it to the next step. That's what the conference today, and I'd like to thank the Marriott team. It's been a tremendous effort from them to be able to turn this around, bring it to life in such short durations. all led. Mr. Rajiv Menon has really driven the team. So thank you very much for all of you and to the entire Marriott team for being with us today.
Thank you, Mr. Menon. Thank you, Sohail. On behalf of the two most wonderful teams of Marriott and Fern, I'd like to thank our esteemed owners who are here today, prospective owners, stakeholders, and the whole family at large. As both my colleagues mentioned, that the last 60 days has been most energetic as well as most interesting. With the last meeting that we had 60 days back with our owners, the response has been phenomenal. And many of them are excited to be the first ones to come on board as the Fern series by Marriott. So again, I'd like to thank our teams, especially Mr. Menon, who is constantly pushing both sides. Sohail, who's eagerly and excited to make sure we are part of this large system. Now, where are we today? When we met 2 months back, we started on the journey of 85 hotels to come on fold as Fern series by Marriott. That is on track. That should happen over the course of the next few months. 30 more are already signed, and 17, or is it 18 as of today? 18 more are already under MOU. So there you can see already 130 hotels already in the fold of, yes, I think the teams deserve a round of applause. And none of this would have been possible without each one of you here. We are who we are where we are today because of each one of you. And I'm quite sure and confident that with all your support, we will get to the target of 500 by 2030. So thank you again.
And that target is just for Sohail on his side. Our target doesn't change, so collectively we've got a ton of work to do together. And without further ado, we're now going to bring out the team who's going to take you through and share all the different work streams that have been going on. So thank you once again, and we look forward to engaging with you over the next few hours. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, Mr. Menon. Thank you, Mr. Chaudhary. Sohail, I'd like to request you to stay on. It's been such a pleasure having you here. If I may request the three of you to please join us for a group photograph as we capture this amazing frame, some brilliant moments and those smiles, making sure that, like Mr. Menon said, that there's a ton of work to be done. Let's hear a round of applause for our leaders yet again. Once again, a big thank you to Mr. Menon and Mr. Chaudhary for joining us here on stage. I'll be inviting you on stage a couple of times, so thank you. Sohail, you shared with us how excited you and the team are, and it's not been an easy journey. It's been a very, very exciting journey up until now, and I'm sure that it has lots of promises. But to you, what does collaboration really mean? And when you're coming and joining hands together, what is it that you tell your team? How is it that you motivate them, especially with the numbers and the targets that you've given them?
So I think exciting up to now, definitely, but the excitement is really just getting started. Right. There's a lot of development happening, a lot of synergies that we didn't even foresee at initial days that are building up. Right. So the way things are going, the momentum is going to be enormous. And the team's excited. The team is spending long hours. Right. I definitely see them being the forefront of this change.
Amazing. A round of applause for him. And now that you did mention that, in fact, to join you here on stage, I'm going to welcome a leader who really does know how to redefine hospitality, not just to explore the opportunities that all of us have today, but also to see how we can design space. So may I request all of you to please put your hands together as I welcome Mr. Stephen Luke, Vice President, Global Design, Asia Pacific, excluding China, Marriott International. What a pleasure to have you here with us. May I request the two of you to please join us in conversation as per the images up on the screen right there. Mr. Luke, if I may request you to be here so that when we capture you, we have some amazing pictures. Let's hear it up for both our wonderful leaders as we deep dive into these very interesting conversation on a series by Marriott. What is it that we can expect? All yours.
Thank you. Well, thank you very much. Thank you for having me. I'm very excited to be here. To be honest, I haven't been with Marriott very long, but then I feel like I've done a lot of work in the last 2 months especially. It's really amazing that we have the opportunity here to share what we have done in the last 2 months. So maybe we start with, so I'm going to start with giving you a little bit of explanations of what series by Marriott is about. And then we'll go into talking about what the Fern series by Marriott would be about. This is a methodology diagram that we have created, starting at what series is, looking at what the fundamentals, and getting to our end product. So we feel that the strategy that we are creating, we want it to be simple, actionable, but the most importantly is how to differentiate the Fern from all the other products in the crowd in India. There's some extensive study on who are we competing with, and then from all this research, we look at what inspires us to push forward on creating that experience. So before, I do need to explain to you why it's Series by Marriott. Series by Marriott is new, actually new in the world, and so India is one of the first two getting Series by Marriott, so very exciting. You're kind of familiar with Marriott. We have many, many brands, but this is a great diagram to explain how we actually separate all the brands from luxury to premium to select to mid-scale and to long stay. And then we also separate them from classic to distinctive. But then you see on the far end, we also have several brands that you're probably familiar with. The luxury collections, which is sitting in the luxury segment. We have Autograph, Tribute Portfolio, and Design Hotel sitting in the premium segment. So those are what we call the collection brands, meaning each hotel has their own individual identities, their brands, their individual experience. So owners basically create their own individual hotels, but goes into our collection. So we feel that we need another one to capture the select and the mid-scale segment. That's how we started the Series by Marriott. So Series by Marriott, what's the role of Series by Marriott? It is a collection brands. It's coming into our portfolio, so you have an understanding that even though it is a very individually designed or created experience hotel, but then you still within the Marriott portfolio, you get all the basics, you get all the basic promises. You know it is a Marriott, you get good service, you get a good night's sleep, you get a good breakfast. So that's how we come up with that.
Stephen, if I can just, this thing. So one of the points that we actually touched on when we were in our last conference is that this series by Marriott is the first collection, conversion, soft brand that is being built by Marriott. And the entire brand architecture, everything created within the last 45 days in essence. And it's the first brand in the collection series that actually also consists of the Marriott name, directly bringing in the Marriott name. And I think that is a big plus for all the owners, and all the owners that I've interacted with, I think that's the biggest draw for them.
Yeah. And this is a lot of thoughts that we put behind it, right? Even down to the logo, the size of the word Marriott and how it is associated. It's all part of the considerations.
And the word series also beautifully brings together
it's a series of
the series,
hotels,
absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah.
So one very important thing is that we want it to be regionally created, meaning it is a hotel that created in India for India, but then it is still connected globally through the Marriott network. And then when we design a hotel, we always look at who are the people going to stay at our hotel, and then getting the informations from you guys and our own understanding. We look at really two big segments. Definitely the business traveler. They are the road warrior. They're going around, doing their business, salespeople or whatnot. But then we also look at the weekend, the family travel, when they are going around India to visit family, go to local attractions and all that. So when we design the rooms that you probably will see, we take all this into considerations to fit into both audience. So with all that, we come to value propositions. We want the hotels to be, we want our customers to actually see that it is a quality product, good value for money, and then they can trust, because it is also a Marriott. They can trust that they have a comfortable stay, a beautiful bed, and a good breakfast, take a nice shower, and have all the basics that they don't have to worry about. So at the end, our philosophy, which is really regionally rooted and a global connections, I think that is the most important foundations when we look at the brand. We also don't want to overpromise, but also but do deliver. So we created our rooms, and when we look at our public programs, it's all part of what we want to give to our customers. So with that, we developed our value. We want it to be simple. Simplicity is one of our value. So that this, for example, our design would be, it's not going to be very complicated. Authentic especially is regionally designed, so we want it to be authentically representing India, and then have the reassurance of Marriott's service and experience. So this is our brand house. Every brand, we have a brand house. So if you may not be able to see, but at the very bottom, from our quality, value, and trust, we want to create a regionally known brand with a comfortable room, access to tea and coffee, the most basic in your stay, and then making sure that you have very helpful check-in, and our staff will be able to provide all the services you need.
I think let's stand up, move the chairs, let them have a good look at the brand house so that they can see it clearly.
Yeah. So this is basically a summary of all we have done to put it together as a brand product. But with that, I want to pass it on to you to talk a little about the Fern. Oh, this is important. Credibility, high room rate. I guess I don't have to explain a lot, right? High room rate would be definitely something we want to drive.
So while a lot of y'all are familiar with what the brand story for Fern has been, it does, in essence, go a lot with what series is, where we are regional. We started off with the western region of India and now looking to spread across India, brought in regional elements from different aspects. But the Fern in itself was a brand created based on an ethos that the family has followed for generations across, being sustainable, being warm. And these are the two fundamentals that brought Indian hospitality and the Fern hospitality specifically to the forefront. So with that, the integration with series, the Fern, I'm sure a lot of you all know in terms of how we brought about the brand, the Fern Fond leaf that is there. is the brand symbol that is recognizable now across most of India, and that's become one of the largest talking points. Whenever I meet most of the owners, they say, we love your leaf. And I think that's what has been the talking point. What that leaf represents is the resilience, the growth, because the fern as a plant itself is extremely resilient, very fast growing, spreading across this scalable, regenerative, can grow from anywhere. So these are the fundamentals of the brand itself that we brought, and the essence of the leaf really brought that out. So in terms of where we are, we had 84 hotels when we signed with Marriott, or as Rahul mentioned, 84 hotels in operation, 31 in the pipeline. Now MOUs for another 18 hotels already executed, so a lot of development and growth happening with that. Design-wise, we've always been extremely flexible with our designs, ensuring that the hygiene aspects of a room are in place, and then the rest of it we leave up to the architects, the interior designers, to bring in the essence of the local community. I think fundamentally, I don't see that changing. While we will get a little stricter in terms of certain areas, but fundamentally, we still want a collaborative approach in the way we have our rooms designed, in the way we have our hotels designed. Food and beverage-wise, again, the Fern has always been a brand that focuses on regional food and beverage, especially in tier 2, tier 3 cities. India as a community is always outgoing, focused towards food and beverage, a lot of social events. So all our properties look at a certain amount of banqueting space, certain amount of food and beverage, full service hotels across the portfolio. Whenever I meet anyone who tries to tell me that in India we're going to do limited service, I say the Indian consumer will go to a hotel, and when he stays there, even if he's paying 1,000 rupees a night, he will expect a person to come and give him chai in the room. Even if that person is not wearing any slippers or just comes and gives him, the expectation of service is given in India. You cannot get away without providing that full-scale service. So distribution-wise, historically, we've been doing about 30% directly from our RSOs, 30% of our business coming in from the OTAs, and about 40% of the rest of the business is either generated from the hotel directly or through the website. This, with the collaboration, we look at how we can enhance this amount and get to almost 80% of the business being pre-booked and pre-given to the hotels. That's what this purpose of this entire collaboration is. It's that distribution piece. So I've already gone into the brand pillars, environmentally sensitive, create those meaningful experiences in the hotels where people will talk about you. We're very happy to say that even today, almost 15 of our portfolios sit in the top 3 in their markets on TripAdvisor. So feedback is extremely important to us, and ensuring that the recognition in that experience comes out in the feedback. Shall we? So
Yeah.
just a quick discussion in terms of the trends in India.
So when we started the design, and I have to admit that I don't know India so well, so I definitely want to be humble and learn from you. So what do you see in the you mentioned a little bit about the macro trend. So what do you see is the most important here?
So see, as a trend in India, hospitality is actually just coming of age. It's as an asset class is starting to perform and really compare with commercial leasing, with other asset classes, and outperform to a large extent other asset classes in real estate. That being said, a lot of the tier 2, tier 3 regions of India are undiscovered. And in those terms, I find that the Indian tourists are now looking at that travel, be it either through pilgrim tourism or wellness tourism, or even just as a getaway tourism that they're doing. The travel outbound from metros, from all corners, even a regional tier 2 city, they are outward to travel and see the rest of the country. There's a lot of promotion from India for the Wed in India, have weddings in India, so a lot of focus towards having MICE functions in India. Where we are lacking is still bringing in inbound tourists. I think that as a element is severely lacking in the country. We are still nowhere close to the kind of inbound tourism that other countries have, and we are not even fully recovered from an inbound tourism perspective as we were pre-COVID. So that is an element that will definitely see a lot of growth as visa conditions ease, as confidence in travel in India improves, security situations in India improve. It was another one of the reasons on this collaboration is to try and take that trust factor that comes with the Marriott brand to tier 2, tier 3 locations for the international tourists. So when the international tourists will come and start looking at tier 2 travel, tier 3 travel across the country, they see that trust factor. And that as a trend is something that we hope to capture.
So you mentioned about sustainability as being a very important part of the firm. Can you elaborate a little bit on that? Because that was a big thing when we start working on the design.
So we spent a lot on that design element to try and bring in as much sustainability as we can. To be honest, in India context, sustainability is still more of a buzzword with the actual consumer. They're not truly sustainable in their approach and don't really appreciate all the sustainability efforts that are going in. They're definitely happy on certain elements of the sustainability, but it's about how we combine that sustainability with luxury, with comfort, without them being overtly emphasizing on the sustainability aspect of them. I think that's the key, and that a lot of that has come out in the design where we are providing them all the comforts of modern luxury, but doing it sustainably.
Right. And part of it is also we think that the younger generation, the Gen Z, are very much actively seeking out, and they do, that is a factor that influences their selection. So how do you see the younger generations in terms of traveling and staying at our hotels?
So in terms of the Gen Z, India has been a bit of a follower in Western trends, so I'm going to push that question back to you actually, whereby it's trends that are going to come in from the Western world, which will influence the Gen Z, right? So whatever your trending aspects in the Gen Z populations across the rest of the world are, especially the European, the Western markets, that's what we would need to start adopting to the Gen Z in India. Though, that being said, India has the largest Gen Z population in the world.
Yeah.
Right? We've got the largest population of new employees coming into the workforce in the world. So this is something as a trend that is going to catch on in India really quickly. And we really look to the Western world to see how we can incorporate those trends here.
Right.
So if you can shed a little light in terms of what are the real trends in terms of the Gen Z going on across, that's something that will really be able to take us forward over here as well.
They are quite interesting. They are digitally savvy, but then when they go to a hotel, they're still expecting the service. Even though you're asking some young people, they still expect the service. They're not expecting everything to be automatic, right? Yeah. Could you also touch on, we mentioned here remote working, digital tribe alignment. So how do you see with the modern technology, especially post-COVID, people can work everywhere. You basically, people can work off from their phone. They don't even really need a laptop sometimes. Like how did that affect our design of the rooms?
Technology-wise, so India is normally relatively quick to adopt new technology. If you look at it, we have the largest digital payment system in the world.
Yeah.
We were able to digitally get almost most of the country onto a digital platform, which is Aadhaar for identification, right? So there is definitely a mentality that is ready to adopt this digital change. But at the same time, we've got to be a little mindful to make it convenient.
Yeah.
The objective of digital transformation should be to make it convenient and quick. For example, today we're incorporating technology in all the elevators of access control. If you ask me, that's a real pain point in my head. To get into an elevator, pull out your key card, put it on the door. It's a pain point. I mean,
Yeah.
you would really just go into an elevator and press your flow.
Right.
Now we've added a step
Everyone
to that.
have to go to
Yeah,
that place
we've
to
added
scan,
a step to
right?
that.
Yeah.
So that as an access control, if technology can solve for us, we should be doing that. Facial recognition today, you know what flow, okay, you can just go and press the button if security is the concern.
Yeah.
You don't really need to do the access control in elevators anymore. So we've got to be able to build technology that truly makes it more convenient, not adding steps into processes.
Yeah, great. Maybe one last question about, you mentioned in the second and the third tier cities, the traveling to those areas. What can you elaborate on that? What do you, it's almost like people in the old days, they all go to Agra and see a Taj Mahal. Now, what's next, like into the second and third tier cities?
So apart from tier 2, tier 3 cities, in India, there's also something which is no city. Like for the leisure luxury segment or the leisure segment in totality, there are places in India that are not on the map. That literally have access created now through either a road infrastructure that's come in or airports that are coming in. And these are places that are not on any map. They're not on the maps with OTAs. So we've gone to destinations which we've literally had to create a destination listing in the OTAs, right? Because that's the kind of scale that we are sitting with in India. And you truly ask, I mean, most of them over here today as well, will be in a 100% agreement that we barely tapped 20% of India's tourism potential in terms of destinations.
Wow.
We've got destinations that are more beautiful than any place on earth, and we've not been able to put a single hotel in these destinations or single tourism infrastructure in these destinations.
Great.
So,
Well, should we actually save some time and invite our next
if you have any
panel?
questions,
Anyone has any questions? Is the microphone? Oh, here.
I think we'll save most of the questions for the question answer session in the end, but we'll take a few quick questions since we've got about 5 minutes.
Suhail, this question is for you. I have no doubt that you can create hotels which will be nice, clean, efficient, well run. Well, that's the point I want to talk to you about. You need a lot of manpower. How are you going to train the manpower? How are you going to retain the manpower? I think that's a question which I'd like to ask.
So as I said earlier also, interestingly enough, India still has the largest population of people coming into the workforce year on year. We've got over 300 million people, 300 million people coming into the workforce. So in terms of number of people who are available to work is not a challenge. It's a question of us being able to groom them, to train them, and to be, make them eligible to work for us. So that's the real challenge. It's not about finding the people or having the people exist. They're there. We need to be able to train them, groom them, so, which means that India is going to be a training ground for the next few years, and the emphasis has to be on that training.
If not, we're going to introduce you a little bit more about the design, which is the exciting part. I'm going to invite Shalaka to actually come on stage, and she will introduce a few guests, have a short panel discussions to share with you how we actually, in the past 2 months, work on the design of the guest rooms and develop some of the foundation design principle for our future potential projects. So, pass to you, Shalaka.
Thank you so very much, Stephen. A round of applause for Stephen and Sohail. May I request the two of you to please join us as we capture you in the same frame. Let's have a photograph before I thank you all. And like Stephen mentioned, very soon we're going to have a very, very interesting panel discussion to share with you a lot more about creating the right kind of space design, and of course to showcase to you all of that in just a bit. Please bear with us as we set our stage up for the next session. And as we do just that, I'd like to share with you that earlier today, Mr. Menon also said that today we really would like for all of you to ask questions, share your thoughts, also share what your point of views are, which is why later in the evening we have kept an open house or a question answer hour where we'd love for you to ask questions, and let's use that time to really interact and make this a two-way segment right there. As we do just that, this journey is very, very exciting for so many reasons. We're talking about co-creation, we're talking about design excellence, and we are today joined by a group of leaders whose expertise spans across sectors, be it architecture, be it design, marketing, brand development. We've got it all. And the reason why they're all here is to share with us their thoughts on what it takes to create the unique perspective that we bring to you, and what and how much hard work has gone into Series by Marriott and how it can create guest experiences in Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities. So may I request all of you to please welcome our panelists here on stage, and I'd like to remind them to take a seat as per the images up on screen. Let's hear it up for Ms. Shalaka Dakshinkar, Director, Global Design, Marriott International, South Asia. As you're well aware, she is somebody who's known to be an absolutely fantastic mind in the world of architecture, planning, and design. Brings a very deep understanding of storytelling, guest-centric environment. So let's hear a round of applause as she joins us right here. May I have all of you please welcome Mr. Kazima Chutalwala, Principal Architect, Designers Group. He's somebody who comes with decades of experience in hospitality architecture and is known for blending functionality and culture in every project. A very warm welcome to you, sir, and thank you so very much for joining us. Let's hear a round of applause as I welcome Mr. Naushir A. Marfatia, Senior Vice President, Sales and Marketing, Concept Hospitality. Let's hear a round of applause as his insights are key to connecting series with its target audience across India and beyond. What a pleasure to have amongst us Mr. Stanley Tai, Director, Global Design, Marriott International, Asia Pacific, excluding China. He's someone whose philosophy talks about creating immersive and locally inspired interiors, and that is what elevates every situation. So may I have the pleasure of welcoming all of you right here, and may I request you to please take a seat as per the images on the backdrop so my audience can have a fantastic connect. You're welcome to ask a couple questions to our panelists should time allow, and like I said, later in the evening we have a very, very exciting segment, an open forum. So a lot for us to discuss, and I'd like to request Shalaka to please take the proceedings up.
Thank you so much. Firstly, thank you, Stephen and Sohail for the lovely brand insight and the micro trends as well. They were quite insightful. So we have here. After that brand insight, we would actually like to dive into the design. Yeah, and the technical and aesthetic aspects of the journey that we had in last 1.5 months that we worked on. We have Mr. Nosher from CHPL who bring to us the firm's perspective. We have Stanley from Marriott International Global Design who is bringing the collaborative strategy. Sorry for that. And we have Kozema who has conceptualized all these ideas to life. So thank you, gentlemen. Thank you for joining us. With that introduction, I would actually like to pose my first question to Mr. Nosher. And my question is, what was the thought behind initiating this prototype, this model room design?
Yeah, thank you. So we had three basic parameters that we thought about when we wanted to get into this mock room for all of you to see. First of all, we wanted to develop a consistent language of the room design so that there was some sort of standardization, and yet we don't want to have cookie cutter rooms. So being Series by Marriott, which is a collection brand, we wanted to have a standardized look, feel, but customized to each local destination, region, etc. Second and most important was to have a room where one can control the costs. We didn't want the room costs to go completely haywire in different regions. And therefore, we were looking at having some sort of a modular design to keep that cost a little bit static and consistent across all regions. And the third factor that we had was to reduce the lead time and the construction, the lead time for the design, the initial design, and the construction of these rooms. Whether a hotel, also, and when you see the rooms, you'll understand, you have an option of taking that room as is or adapting it with your local architects. But in both scenarios, to make sure that the lead time for both design and construction is within the set framework.
That's amazing. So very owners-friendly brief you had for for this. So were there any additional brief design guidelines that you gave Mr. Kozema?
Yes, so when we first sat with Kozema and his design group team, the broad general brief that we gave them is that the Fern Hotels and Resorts have been known for sustainability. So what are the sustainable aspects that we can bring in as touch points into these new rooms? We are one of India's leading environment-friendly hotels, and therefore the environment-friendly aspect, both in the design of the room as well as in the operating supplies and equipment, we asked them to look at that as one of the main guidelines in the model room. Basically to showcase the Fern's environment-sensitive aspect and the sustainability aspects in these new design rooms. And also, the room design should be adaptable to different markets. So if you see our portfolio, the bulk of our hotels currently, as well as the new builds, the new tie-ups we're doing, are more in tier 2 and tier 3 cities. These are the dynamic cities which are growing. And what we have found in our existing portfolio of hotels in these cities is that the bulk of the guest market, the guests who stay with us, a large percentage of those are those who are coming to us for either social events or for destination weddings.
Right.
And this clientele is a little bit different from the business clientele that you'll see in metro and tier 1 cities. These clients use the room much more for meetings, for discussion points. So if you're having a social event, you will have the core team or the family, etc., having a meeting in the room. Right now, because the rooms are not conducive to that, they have to go to spaces in
Public
the hotel,
areas,
public
yes.
areas, etc.
Right.
So we asked Kozema to develop a room design that would make it conducive to have guests come and have a meeting. So give them a little bit of workspace, give them a little bit of social space where they can have these meetings in the room. If it's a destination wedding, then obviously there's a lot of logistics where the family and the event planners, etc. So instead of doing that again in the main lobby or in a restaurant, they can have a space to do it in the guest rooms. And also to make it conducive for in-room dining.
Lovely.
So that, you know, there is a dedicated space. You don't have to sit on the bed or on the writing table if you want to have a meal. So these were the basic elements that we sort of thought, let's
So it
try
should
and put
cater to
these
a lot
touch
of the
points
wide category of
in the room
guests.
design.
Right, lovely. With that, actually, I will take the next question to Stanley. Stanley, what were the Marriott Global Design inputs after what Mr. Nasher has given it? Yeah.
Thank you, Shalaka, for the lovely questions. Well, basically, during the initial design stage, the design process, basically, Maritime has actually briefed the designers and reinstate with actually three brand pillars and philosophies, of course. I mean, the first brand pillars with one of the important messages, like, we are not reinventing the brand. Of course, with the design itself, it's actually should be approached to be basic, to done well visions, and it must actually rooted to the local flavor, and also obviously connected to the world. So we want to tend to keep it like very simple, stylish, and smart, of course. There's actually there's nothing that fluffy. It's just about the good stuff that what we want to have in the room. And we actually promise less, we deliver more, and we make every traveler feel right at home, and then of course with the purpose in every details.
Lovely, lovely. So I think we had very rounded brief to Mr. Kozema. So my next question to you, sir. So with all these beautiful ideas, now I would like to understand from you, how did the design evolve?
So thank you, Shalaka. Let me thank Concept Hospitality, Fern Brand, and Marriott for trusting us to build up this beautiful prototype or model room which we have created. This is not the first time I'm doing any fun, so I have been associated with the brand, so I feel that I understand, or we as designers group understand the ethos of the brand. Now, having understood, there is a lot of technology which is going behind to bring that sustainability factor, which is never ever experienced by the guest. It is running in the background so that the client, the ownership gets benefit out of it by bringing in the cost down, bringing in a lot of other factors. So there are so many factors which brings that sustainability. But in design, when we started designing it, keeping all the brief which was coming to us, we also felt that we should create a model room which is very, very crisp. And it should be, first and foremost, it should be something where we take care of all the four factors of resilience, organic growth, the regeneration, and the scalability in that particular design. So we created a layout which was, we started with the appropriate room size. What would be the best size which we should be able to build? And we came, after a lot of deliberation, we came back between all of us, and we decided that we should do a 24 square meter grid room, which should be most apt for not only for the business, but also for FITs, also for the social events, especially the celebration events, which India takes a huge part of. Indian hospitality consumes, the huge amount of hospitality is being consumed in that way. So we created a layout which had a nice showering, beautiful experience. We created the layout where you could have, if somebody wants to have an extra bed in tier 2, tier 3 city, especially during conferences and few event occasions, you can plug in those sofas as sofa cum bed, so it could be scalable. It could become more appropriate. And at the same time, we understood the complete scenario of the target audience, which is going to use this. So it is not only the Gen Zs who are going to use it, but it is also for social events. So there are a lot of people with children, a lot of people with a lot of them want to get together in the evening. So we created sitting areas two different zones. One is a sleeping zone and one was a sitting zone and working zone. So these two different zones which were created in the bedroom, in the guest room, that is where we could use it more efficiently, more appropriately. So putting up a multifunctional table which can be used for writing, dining. If two people want to gather up, there was an additional poof which was added to the room, which you can move around, or somebody can come from the adjacent neighboring room, be there, have a drink together, or a snack or discussion, whatever is possible. So ultimately, the room was created to ensure that all kind of target audience in that limited 24 square meter room, the complete target audience, the complete bandwidth of that target audience is covered and made it as efficient as possible. Another important part of it is that the experience of sustainable material, because this is something what we wanted to bring it to ultimate experience of the guests, that they should be able to see those sustainable material. Because a lot of sustainable material which are like particle boards and other factors, they are generally, they go as a substrate and never ever being experienced or seen. So we introduce material like cork, SPCs, which are 100% environmental friendly and very green material, so that the experiences and usage of that material brings in the large scale of sustainability into it. The design of the room was so modulated in terms of the way it was structured. The design was created as a minimalistic design, so it becomes timeless. So tomorrow, if I want to build it even in a metropolitan city or even in a third tier city, that design could be incorporated in such a way that you use the local nuance and bring that similar design, so it creates its own identity for that property. It gives you the local, it gives the opportunity for each and every series hotel to look different, but in the same module. And the way the scalability has been possible is in such a fashion that even if there are certain you must in that room. For example, there are few wall backdrops, the kind of element, the color element. If we can incorporate, I think so, we will have a very uniform experience all across the series room, which will, any guest who goes anywhere in the world or travel in the world will have that similar experience. And at the same time, the design will be so scalable, it has become so scalable that even with the part renovation, if we could do it, it will become a great thing to make a change and bring it in the same uniform level, even with full renovation, part renovation, or little upgradations. Everything is possible in this same design.
Wow. So from a soft renovation to a full redo, you can actually scale this, and probably the scaling will also bring time efficiency and cost efficiencies.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's a great efficient module which has been created currently. And I think so, all thanks to you guys for the tireless, we have chewed a lot of brains here from both the brands in order to get this product ready in the very short time.
I think additionally, exactly what Kojima was just mentioned. I mean, basically one of our pillars is also to be, users-friendly and maintenance-friendly. And that's actually very important. And actually, our target customers is actually, target audience, I should say, it is actually one of those who was actually travel with purpose. Yeah.
True.
So like, they have the map in their hand, and, budget is one of the things in their mind, of course.
Yes.
And then, but, they still crave for their comfort. Yeah, it's exactly what we just mentioned. And, with the characters, and of course, with the local touch points. Yeah.
Yes, so the local touch point is very, very important to create an identity for each and every hotel. So every hotel is going to be looking different, but at the same time fall in the same bracket, that experiences are going to be
The local
very
context, the
uniform.
local identities, I think
Yes,
that's important.
Yes.
Actually, would you like to elaborate a little bit on that local context in your wallpaper? That
So here, what we tried to use a lot of sustainable material. So we felt that cork was a great material which is very sustainable. We brought in a cork wall covering on which this particular graphic has been created. There is a font which has been used in this, which becomes like a fun identity as a part of the graphic. And then since this was in Bombay, we used the Bombay map as such. But this backdrop could change. So this backdrop could change everywhere, wherever we go. We take the local nuance and put it, incorporate over there. So it makes a very loud and clear statement of wherever that location of that property is. And the cork is something which we feel is a great material and most sustainable material.
Right.
So we could use that cork wall covering as a part of the backdrop, which gives you a uniform feel, but at the same time, it creates its own identity for the property.
That's amazing. That's a very unique idea. So you basically, that brings the nuance and you regionalize your product.
Yes. And
Lovely.
we are trying to use some terrarium, which again gives you a lot of green in that environment. So it creates a lot of freshness in the room by use of planters, terrarium, which are great as far as the experiences. It enhances the experience to a very great level.
Lovely, lovely. Stanley, anything that you would like to add?
I think it's just to summarize everything, just one of the very important factors that, we're going back to exactly what Stephen have just mentioned. Regionally creative, globally connected.
Yes.
So, basically, Series by Marriott bring a very strong, regionally relevant brand into the Marriott portfolio. It's actually amplifying their independence of hotel stories, exactly what we have just discussed, to the strength of Marriott with the award-winning loyalty programs, like digital platform, and of course, with the mobile apps that it's actually allowed you to be easily, drive into your booking activities. So, yeah, I think that's...
Lovely.
Yeah.
So that's technology, sustainability, and design coming together.
Right.
Wow. So much has been said, but I think it's a good time to probably do a unveiling. Should we?
So,
Yeah.
Shalaka, if you allow me, there is
Sure.
something which is very, very important is
Of course.
that, we designed this actually we started on 25th of June. So today, from that point till date, I think so there has been a huge progress which has been done, and
Yes.
all salute and all credit to both Fun as well as Marriott team for such a great support, and IEO team who executed this particular mock-up,
True,
and to all the rest of the members who supported this endeavor. They brought in this in reality in such a short time.
Yeah.
Now, this is something which is, and I feel that today we are at a stage where the probably a little fine tune, and we'll make it the most efficient and most I would say something which will be very considering the target audience, considering the hotel owners, it will become one of the most efficient product to be delivered to them.
Definitely.
I mean, to
I
be
think
exactly,
that
yeah.
was one of the biggest brief.
To be exactly, so what we had is only 24 days. It starts
Yes.
from the drawing board to the reality.
Yeah. Less than 6 weeks from a design board to an actual execution of a full-scale model, working model. I think that was quite an achievement for all of us. Probably first time that all of us have achieved something in such a short time.
Yes.
And a
yes.
beautiful product that it has come. So I would like to actually invite, if probably we could get the chairs off our way, and I would like to start with the unveiling process of the
Sure.
ceremony. Yeah?
Sure.
So can we get the ribbon and could you make the announcement for the...
First of all, may I request all of you to please put your hands together for Shalaka and our wonderful speakers here. As we set our stage up, may I request all of you to please put your hands together as I have the pleasure of inviting Mr. Rajiv Menon, Mr. Rahul Chaudhary, Mr. Sohail Kanampilly on stage yet again. Let's also welcome Mr. Stephen Luke. As you witnessed right here, we made sure that we share a lot about what went into creating the prototype here with us. What we're going to do is we are going to request all our leaders to please join in, and may I request the gentlemen to come ahead so that our dignitaries can be behind the ribbon. Jeet, may I request you to please come forward.
You're going to undo
Up
or
either
you're
up.
going to cut?
Yeah, I think let's come up with it.
May I request all our leaders to please join us and create a beautiful photo opportunity. May I request for, on the count of 3, 2, 1, a round of applause as we unveil the first look of the prototype right here, the model that talks about all the amazing pointers that all of you just heard from our fantastic leaders, and who better than our absolute visionaries to bring to us the first look right here. In fact, very soon, I'm going to invite all the firm owners to join us at the prototype for a walkthrough, ways for all of you to get to know a lot more about what's in store for you. Thank you so much, leaders. May I request all of you to join me for a group photograph? All of you all, please join us for a group photograph as we bring to you series by Marriott. And my wonderful audience, you can add to this moment with those very, very warm applauses yet again. Please take center stage. Flaka, join us for a picture moment. A spectacular moment for all of us as we bring to you series by Marriott. I would like to request all of you to please be with us as we are going to welcome all of you for a walkthrough at the prototype. Mr. Menon, to please share a few words with us.
Yeah, so I was going to request all our fern owners to come and please experience the room outside. And please, please, please bring a notepad and pen and make copious amounts of notes. Now, Noshir said it very well. We had clear focus on sustainability, on cost, and making sure that it was regionally relevant, but at the same time, this is not a directive that existing hotels need to change. This is a way for us to bring together a room product that, as you experience, that you start to see when you think about renovation or you're doing part renovation, you can take bits of it and either take bits or take the entire amount, get it done. For those who are building hotels, can choose to hire a designer and spend lots of money doing that, or take the prototype room and do it very quickly in a very, very efficient way. So as you come along and experience the room, please take notes so that when we come back, we look forward to answering those questions and getting into a lot more detail. Thank you so very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Menon, for adding those points. Very, very important. Like he said, we're trying to set the right kind of example for all of you all, making sure that we ease your journey into creating and designing spaces, which is why now's the time that I'd like to welcome all the firm owners to please join us. If you step outside, walk through, you're going to find yourself in the outside zone where the prototype is already created. We're going to have the team join you all there. Feel free to take notes. Please join us back inside the hall by 4:45, 4:50 p.m. We would love for you to join on the other side where we're going to have all of you ask questions and use this platform as a two-way communication. For those of you who enjoy a cup of tea after you visit the prototype, you're welcome to join us for the same. Like I mentioned, looking forward to seeing you on the other side of this very short break. 4:45, we'll be starting our next segment. May I welcome all the firm owners to join us directly at the prototype. Thank you. Let me extend a very, very warm welcome to each of you all. I'm sure you all had a look at the prototype that we've created for all of you. Would have been an amazing learning experience, and our team was there to guide you through and make sure that you use this as an example. I'd also like to request all those of you who still happen to be in the pre-function area to please join us back inside. Like we've been mentioning from the very start, Ms. Menon shared with us how today is an opportunity for us to ask questions, for us to engage with each other. You know, often on platforms like these, it's always one-way direction, but we wanted this to be a two-way communication. We wanted this to be a segment where you all get to ask questions, share your thoughts. It's going to be a learning experience, a knowledge-sharing platform for all of us. So may I once again request all of you to please put your hands together as I thank Mr. Rajiv Menon, Mr. Rahul Chaudhary, Mr. Sohail Kanampally to be here with us on stage. A round of applause for them back in the hall. My wonderful guests, we're now closing the doors, so may I request all of you to please feel free. All you have to do is raise your hands. We're going to have one of our colleagues pass on a microphone. Please introduce yourself briefly, and if you're a Fern Hotel, please also introduce your property and shoot your question. We'll be taking all questions related to the segment, of course. So may I request? Okay, the first drink goes to the first person who asks the question. It's always, the first question is always the tough one. So may I urge my wonderful, wonderful guests to use this opportunity and ask questions or share their thoughts. Which one of you would like to go first, please? How about someone on the tables right here? Any one of you, please feel free. I would say it's, okay, wonderful. Thank you so much. All yours.
Good evening. Absolutely wonderful to listen to all of you, and what an incredible, meaningful conversation and Series by Marriott. I think let's hear it one more time, everybody, for Series by Marriott. Louder. Raj, my question to you, and I was just having a coffee with you, and I said, what's that appetite? Where do you want this brand to go? We talked about certain numbers. Where is that we are looking and hitting the roof? And how does that endurance in you that continues the acceleration, which is never seemingly slowing down? What is that recipe?
So ultimately, with series, as we've talked about extensively, the focus has been a brand that's regionally relevant, globally connected, right? When we launched and did the global launch here with all our Fern partners, we aligned on what was 85 operating hotels and 30 odd in the pipeline. Sohail and his team continue to do a phenomenal job in bringing more MOUs, and we expect this growth is going to be tremendous. But more than the growth, what I want to focus today with our partners is that 2 months ago, we made certain commitments. And one of those was that we will continue to work together to co-create as we move forward, because ultimately, 500, 600, 700 is a number. If our owners love what we co-create, if our customers love what we deliver to them, and associates are able to take great care of our customers, then numbers almost become irrelevant, because the growth story is going to be just phenomenal. So what I want to say to all our Fern partners is that when you think about the work that's gone on in the last 2 months, and just today we spent 2 hours before we came to this meeting to review progress on all fronts, we are confident that we will, and again, Rahul and I have been harsh to Sohail to set a timeline of before Diwali, to do the cutover so we can bring all of you live in our system before Diwali. That means a ton of work, folks. But we are committed and confident that we can push through and get there around that timeline. With that, the other piece was, as we think about this growth, where does the connectivity on Fern stay as you grow at a fast pace? Now, today, what you've seen is net result of us setting the team a goal to come up with a prototype room or a model room. And the reason we call it model room, not prototype room, is because we don't want every hotel to look exactly as that model room does. We want you to be very similar to the model room, but we want you to have the cost benefit that this model room delivers. And if you think about renovation, you think about soft goods or hard goods renovation, you think about new hotels, you can either pick the prototype and do it in a most cost-effective and the quickest way possible, or you can decide to spend lots of money and do it your own way, as long as it works with Sohail and his brand team. So that was the criteria, and what none of us have talked about till now, which I'm going to get Sohail to walk you through, is the cost of this model room. So Sohail, spend some time and talk about the cost of this model room, because that's going to be the key for all our partners as they think about be it renovations or new rooms.
So we did this mock-up room in from planning to actually what you see here has been around 35 days in totality. From design to conversation to build out within 35 days. And at a total cost approximately of about 12 lakhs, that's not including the air conditioning and the HVAC for the room. The rest, everything included. There is still a lot of value engineering that can be done to further reduce this cost and to enhance the product in a small ways here and there that can be done. So I think the potential to have a room done between 10 to 12 lakhs, ideally for a 240 to 200, for a 24 to 28 square meter room, very, very comfortable within the brand specs.
And again, for me, that is huge, because when we think about cost per room as we build new hotels, that cost can vary anything from about 35, 40 lakhs upwards to 2-3 crores a room for a Ritz-Carlton. In some cases, even more. So to be able to deliver it in 12 lakhs, to me, I hope you would appreciate, brings an incredible amount of cost benefit to all our partners. And that's the reason for today I spent so much time talking about, please make notes, please ask lots of questions, because as Sohail said, we still have opportunity. We still want to make sure we learn from you, get your advice, and continue to tweak the end product so that eventually, as you continue to roll it out, that you are seeing the net benefit of what we've created together. So with that, please, feel free to ask the next question.
I hope all of you had a chance to actually get into the room. It was a little crowded in there, but there are a few highlights in the rooms which actually the team would love to emphasize on. The communal space that we've kind of created in the room with the bench and the single seater, along with giving the flexibility of a writing table, cum dining table. I think those are aspects which cater to the Indian market phenomenally. Because what it does is it gives you an opportunity for in-room service, in-room dining, which literally all domestic consumers incline towards.
Sohail, I have a question. I just wanted to understand that the cost that you said was only for the rooms, and what about the public areas?
No, this is the cost towards the interior of the room that we've actually done.
Right.
But in a Fern residency, you would be ranging around 30 lakhs to 35 lakhs per key.
Right.
That's from a ground up, other than financing cost and land cost. And the fund will go to between 45 to 55 lakhs for per key.
Okay. And just one more question was that in terms of who can implement it, do you have a list of interior designers who can do it, or any local interior designer can implement the package?
So again, because our objective is to be regionally relevant, what we do with regards to interior designers is we're happy to work with any interior designer you choose. Ideally, we would prefer someone who has hospitality exposure so that we're not educating them through and through of how to build a hotel.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks, Atan.
We have an amazing audience and only a few handful of questions. May I request for one of our colleagues to please pass on the mic to the gentleman at the back end? Yes, please.
Thank you. I'm Jasmeet from, we have a hotel or a resort at Kasauli. It's a hill town in Himachal Pradesh. Now, my question was that how do we know that a market is getting saturated? Now, my specific question is because Kasauli right now has around 200 good properties. Now, still, now we came and getting a good rate of 10,000 plus in a market which already has too many properties. So how do we actually know this market is getting saturated? Is there any benchmark to that?
Your question is more on the rate rather than the room. I'm just trying to get clarity on that.
I want to know that, let's say a city has 100 hotels. Now, is it right to invest in that city? So I want to say that how to make a judgment on whether this market is already saturated vis-a-vis the number of properties it already has.
Sure. So on that, I'm going to answer it in a broad term, and then I'll bring it down to specific market in India. When you think about India and India's growth story, 1.4 billion people, middle class, growing at a phenomenal pace. In the next 5 years, India becoming the third largest economy in the world. Now again, Mr. Trump is trying to disrupt it a little bit, but I'm sure it'll continue to move in that direction. The demand and the growth that you will see in discretionary income is going to be huge, which means demand for people to spend on leisure, on tourism, generally on hospitality, restaurants, is going to continue to go like that. Why do I say that? When you think about US, which is a mature market, 300 million people, or the largest economy in the world, it has over 5 million keys, 5 million rooms. China has north of 3 million rooms. India today, in the branded category, has just over 200,000 rooms, which is almost equivalent to what UAE has. Right? Even Japan, with 130 million population base, has 1.8 million hotel rooms. So long-term demand prospects, I am not worried whatsoever. I think India has incredible opportunity for investment, for growth, and for owners to get considerable returns on their hotel investment. The piece one needs to be careful of is, when do you make that investment in a particular market? So when you suddenly see a wave of hotels coming, the demand growth could be, generally what we see is demand growth is in the double-digit percentage year after year. But if you see increase in supply, and this is where supply tends to be cyclical, and if it's coming all at once, then you will see a short-term blip where the rates go down. And everybody starts to feel that you're not making money. But generally what you see with India is that period lasts for about 1 to 2 years maximum till demand catches up. So our advice to many owners is to make sure you get the cycle right. focus on markets which have limited room supply and invest there so that you can pick on the timing of the cycle, and where there is a lot of supply coming, wait out in those markets for a little longer till the supplies come in and got absorbed, then start building your hotel, because by the time your hotel comes up, the demand would have caught up anyway. You understand where I'm going with this? Because
Perfect, I got it.
that's how business will play out. Ultimately, long-term demand in India, as far as I'm concerned, is incredibly strong. Thank you.
Thank you.
We have a question from one of our would-be owners. They're almost on board, and I think that's what makes it all the more special. We're here at the back end of the hall. Sir, may I request you to please introduce yourself, and may I request my audience to please put their hands together for them. Very soon, they'll be on board once they sign the MOU. So a round of applause, and I can almost say, fingers crossed, looking forward to having you on board.
Thank you, ma'am. My question was for Sohail. You said that the room's cost is around 12 lakh. So just shed some light, because I'm not feeling like it should be a 12 lakh. Room is fantastic, but is there any cost that I'm not calculating?
Yeah, I know. So the entire FF&E piece, which is the furniture, fixtures, the loose furniture, the pelmets, the writing tables, the bench, everything, that is working out to about 5.5 lakhs for the room. Okay, your bathroom in itself works out to approximately 3.5 to 4 lakhs, including the CP fittings. And then you have some white goods in the room, your upholstery, your artwork in the room, all those other activities, they go to approximately another 2 lakhs. So you're ranging as a cost between 10 to 12 lakhs per key.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Sure.
Thank you for that. Sir has a question. Can we have a microphone for him, please? Yes, please.
Myself, Hitesh Agrawal. I own 4 fun hotels in Vadodara. And
you want to bring that cost from 10 lakhs down to 8 lakhs, you need to sit with Hitesh bhai.
So that is what I was telling. It should be 8 lakhs, because with the fun brand, we should not invest more than 8 lakh rupees per room for furniture and fixtures. So I thought the best thing was sitting area. The edge you made on the sitting area, it can be used for multi-purpose. So that was the best thing which I saw. Sliding door, your edges are very sharp, of the furniture's edges are very sharp. So I don't know, you need to work on that, right?
Thank you, definitely. The edges of the furniture is a little sharp. So we need to
then the
them
sliding door, which is coming, you had put some edge which is 3 inch outside the wall. So once you come with luggage in the vestibule area, it will strike with that edge. So if you can bring the wall of wash basin 3 inch inside, so it will slide on the wall.
Yeah.
So that was small things. CP fitting cost is too high. You have put high-end products for CP fittings, which we can reduce. Cork wallpaper. Again, that is a costly product. So we need to see if we can replace things with cork wallpaper. Otherwise, everything is fine.
So we also need to give the designers a little flexibility in terms of what they're doing. But yeah, for sure, there are value engineering points, and appreciate all the feedback. Great inputs. We'll definitely see how we can tweak the design in the final
the edge which it will always strike with the luggage.
Well, remember, we designed and built this room in 24 days. So we have a week and a half to design, and then we built this room. So yeah, when we walk into a room, we notice the things that you actually mentioned. Of course, we'll continue to improve if one of the owners wants to use the room as part of the package, we can definitely, we still need to do some modification. For the sliding door, the protruding, part of it is because we have no other place to put the mirrors. So the mirrors behind the door push it out. If we put the mirrors on the door, it'd be too heavy. The hardware would be a problem. So we actually already talking about, oh, can we put the mirrors behind the wardrobe or something to minimize that space. Then you also mentioned the cork wall covering. Of course, that's our wish list. It's beautiful. But we talked to the designer also that we could actually change it to, we can still much less expensive to print on a cork board of the graphics, but do it as a frame artwork. So it doesn't have to run the whole wall, but it could be a piece of artwork, especially for your conversion projects. So you're not going to rip out the wall and put a new wall covering. We can just design it with the same graphics, but in a frame artwork, so it will be much less expensive. So just remember, like this is our wish list, like dream room. But then I think as we adapt to the individual projects, we'll do some adaptations.
Thank you so much for that, Stephen. And ma'am here has a question, as I thank sir.
But I do want to thank you again for being so specific with your feedback. Thank you.
Thank you once again for that. Ma'am, may I request you to please share your thoughts here with us, and what is it that you wanted to ask? If I may request you to please introduce yourself as well.
I'm Amruta Jadhav from Nasik. We have a property in Nasik. I would like to know, is there any flexibility to bring the essence of Nasik in our design of the room?
Yeah, so absolutely. As we're saying, this is a model room. It's not mandatory that you have to do this room as a replication, but we've kept a few elements in the room that can be customized based on your location. So if you look at that entire cork wall at the back, that's actually got a city map of Mumbai.
Right.
Just tweaking that to a Nasik feel, maybe even vineyards, will give you a lot of feel of Nasik. Apart from that, local artisans, local artworks, we're very comfortable with tweaking the rooms to be able to give you that local regional feel to it.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
We'll pass on a microphone right there to sir, and may I request you to please introduce yourself and then ask your question.
Hi, Sohail. Sharad, I'm from Fern, Jaipur. We wanted to know, this mock-up room is for Fern residency or the Fern?
So we picked the size of a Fern residency room and did a mock-up room for a Fern residency so that it covers primarily tier 2, tier 3 markets which are scalable and the avenue for future growth as well. So to answer your question short, Fern residency, 24 square meter. And we went with the minimum size that we really need for a Fern residency, which is the 24 square meter. We do have a lot of Fern residencies which are even bigger than this in terms of room size, going up to almost 30 square meter in some of the Fern residencies. Again, because it's a model room, there is no mandate that we have to do only 24 square meters. The objective of this was to show how we can, within 24 square meters, still create a space that is welcoming and overall gives you the feeling of space even within a 24 square meter room. That was the objective of sticking to the size of 24 square meters.
So keeping aesthetics and space and the right use of it all in mind. Thank you for that, Sohail. In fact, we have another question right here, and may I request you to please introduce yourself?
Hello, good evening. I'm Prateek Pawar, and this is my partner, Mr. Soham Jadhav. We are potentially would-be owners of Fern Residency in Chakan, Pune. So as a developer, we have a few questions, because being a developer, our primary objective is getting as much returns on the property as we can. So the profit projections that we have been given a sort of a guesstimate, how accurate are those percentage-wise? The operational costs, or what will be the variation in them that we can expect?
Yeah, so historically, and I hope the other owners in the room also can vouch for it, historically we've been very conservative with the kind of projections that we give upfront for a hotel. Ideally, we sometimes, in best case scenarios, have achieved that 10th year projection in year 2 or year 3. Okay. So in terms of how accurate it is, it's as accurate as we can with current market knowledge. Okay. And always on the more realistic side of the projection. We budget always at a higher level compared to the annual projection that has been given.
All right. I mean, I had a guess that it would be not too plus or minus. I mean, because it's a guesstimate, as I said, but that sort of helps us. And yeah, thank you for that.
Annual budget, I can assure you, will always be plus over that.
Okay. Yeah. And about the room budget, like there were a few questions like 12 lakh, and then one gentleman over here said like 8 lakhs.
Yes.
So that's some good news. Maybe we'll sit down with him. Yeah?
No question, right. If you sit with him, he'll probably even figure out how to bring it to 7 lakhs.
Yeah. All right, maybe a trip or two to Gujarat. Yeah? Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you so much for that.
That's
we have
part
another
of the success, though, as well. Keep in mind that your biggest cost is investment, is physically building the asset. And if, you know, big part of this piece that we've done in the 35 or 40 days is to make sure that is minimized. And also, from a speed point of view, execution. I can tell you, I've now been associated on the Marriott side with opening hotels in India for the last 24 years. And hotels in India can take anything from 3 years, sometimes, to we've got hotels that 10 years have been under construction. And as far as I'm concerned, we should be able to deliver from the time we sign a deal to construction and open the hotel, generally from a firm perspective, in 18 months, right? And if we can shorten that time and bring it at incredibly good cost in partnership with our Vadodara owners, then imagine the net result of how quickly you get a better ROI on it.
Of course. Thank you very much. Yes.
Thank you so much for that, sir. In fact, on similar lines, we have yet another question from sir. May I request you to please introduce yourself?
Yeah, that gentleman asked the same question, but however, still, if you can elaborate, what is the ROI to expect on a foreign residency with about 50 keys?
So that's a difficult question to answer in terms of what is the ROI to expect. It depends a lot on what is the market dynamics, because ROIs differ from market to market, and as well as what is the final product mix in terms of food and beverage to rooms. But ideally, if I'm investing my own money into something, I will definitely look at an ROI of minimum 10 to 12%. If you're not getting that as an ROI, there's definitely a challenge on hand. Our best case scenario ROIs have been close to 16, 17% at least.
Thank you so very much. We have time for a couple of more questions in case any of our wonderful audience members, our firm owners would like to take that opportunity. Yes, sir. All yours.
Excuse me. Before we move forward, I'm Puneet Gaba from Jaguar this side, and one of the owners asked about the price of the bathroom. So I want to assure you that the kind of bathroom you saw, which has been done very beautifully, designed by the architect designer and executed well, that bathroom for faucets, sanitary concierge systems will not cost you more than 60,000 rupees. That's our assurance to you.
There you're working towards your cause.
I didn't realize that you're getting sudden discounts as well.
Yeah.
What a perfect platform to learn a lot more. And that's what partnership and collaboration is all about. So I think this is where it begins. In fact, on this note, I would like to share with you that a little later, I'll be inviting all of you to join us in the pre-function area and the exhibit zone, where you can meet all of these wonderful partners and get to know how you can really work a lot more. May I have a microphone for the lovely lady here in blue, please? She'd like to ask a question.
Hello, this is Awadh. I'm from Fern, Daman, and Diu. We have an upcoming project coming in Tholera, sir, as well. So, just as Mr. from Jaguar was saying, I would also like to know all these partners that we have here, right here. Do we have any contracts or some discussions ongoing with them to give us some special rates as Fern owners?
Well, so the whole reason Marriott, with support from Hotelier India, have been organizing this for the last 5 years is because we saw an incredible opportunity to bring our owners and our other partners like Jaguar and others who do a lot of hotel construction work and material together in a forum like this to have this discussion and to share each other's problems and find solutions. And honestly, in the early stages, I thought, if we end up getting about 100, 200 people, it'll be a good thing. Last year, we were up to about 750. This year, Vibor tells me that it's now tomorrow and day after, that number is 1,300 plus, right? And again, keep in mind, today is purely dedicated to Fern owners, right? So if you choose to be here tomorrow and day after, we won't stop you. You're more than welcome. But today was because you were coming into our family for the first time. We wanted to give you a little bit more insight. So as you wrap up here, exactly to what was said before, please go out and spend time with each of these partners, and you will see for yourself what they've got to offer, and folks can give you instant commitments on all kinds of stuff. As a hotel operator, between Sohail and Marriott, our responsibility is to bring partners together, but we don't dictate that you must use one. We'll give you a panel of partners that you can choose from, and you negotiate the best price from there. So they're all here. Please engage with them, spend time. Some of them are sitting here, some of them are outside, and feel free to get the best price you can.
All right, thank you.
Thank you so very much for that, Ms. Menon. We have a question from the lady here. Yes, ma'am.
Hi everyone, I'm Hiral Wangno from Wang Hospitality, one of those wonderful partners that sir is referring to or mentioned about. I've got a quick question. With this partnership that we are referring to, is there a possibility of many renovations happening across existing Fern properties that we possibly should keep an eye out for?
So the partnership doesn't mandate any renovation at the hotels, but for us to be able to really deliver to the guests the best experience, we undergo renovations across our hotels on regular basis. In fact, currently as we speak, 2 of the hotels are currently undergoing renovation itself.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you for that. I'd like to welcome more of our audience members to use this platform and ask questions, if any, please.
I think we have a couple of architect owners who would love to hear their words as well.
Sure. Sohail, do you want to start first, or do you want me to go? Again, from my side, thanks so much for taking the time to come and spend with us here, but also more importantly, as being part of this Confluence, because to me, just getting everybody to see what incredible innovation is happening in India, not only in terms of product, but also in terms of alternatives and pipeline. I would also encourage you, if you like, to spend tomorrow, day after, engaging with all the partners outside, building a network that you can call on. Because ultimately, when you think about where we are today, just on Marriott side, before Fern came into the family, we I talked about this earlier. We have 168, 170 odd hotels open, another 115 under construction. Development team continues to sign incredible number of deals every year. So think about the renovation, think about new builds, and now you add Fern portfolio to that. You're really looking at about a 350 to, close to 400 hotels in the system that are constantly looking at some kind of investment. And when you think from that perspective, imagine if you had the network that you could call on and get the right support so that we can identify not just the product, the right pricing in each of your hotels. It makes life so much easier. In fact, I met a gentleman who came in from the US, and he said he's got investments in US, and they sit around the table and talk about these kind of things. Why are we doing all this? When in India, you've got such incredible meetings and conferences being organized where you can do it so easily and quickly together. So I hope you find the conference useful. I hope you're able to build some great networks. Our commitment to you is to deliver exceptional quality at an exceptional price, so that we can continue to make that investment, and to our partners at the back, get the best ROI over a long period of time. But thank you ever so much for your time once again, and we look forward to seeing you around outside and for cocktails and drinks after. Thank you.
You just became everybody's favorite person by offering them cocktails already. But how about we all create a fabulous moment? It's not often that we'll get to meet all the Fern owners here again. So why don't we create a photo opportunity with the leaders here? May I please welcome all the Fern owners to join us here on stage. We're looking at a group photograph of about 100 of you all. So I'd like to welcome a few of you on stage. A few of you can be probably on the carpeted floor here. May I request you all to please step forward and give us this opportunity to create a beautiful memory. And then, like Sir mentioned, I'll welcome all of you to join us in the pre-function area. Have a look at the prototype yet again if you've missed it. Meet our partners. We have an amazing exhibit zone where our partners have their booths. So may I please request all the Fern owners to join us on and off stage for a group photograph. May I also take this opportunity and welcome a CHPL and MI project team to join us on stage for this picture-perfect moment. You have all made day one of Marriott International Global Design and Development Conference 2025 such a success. We bring to you this brilliant show powered by Hotelier India. I'd like to thank our presenting partner, Havel, our co-sponsored by partner, Jaguar Group, our associate partners, Garnet Interiors, Quantum, Networks, IVO. I'd like to thank IEVO, and of course, a big thank you to all our category partners. Like I mentioned, we have our exhibitors out there. I'd also like to thank our conference partners. Once again, may I welcome all the Fern Hotel owners to join us on stage, and some of you can be off stage as well so that we get to capture all of you. May I also welcome a CHPL and MI project teams. Like you heard earlier, tomorrow and day after, we will be discussing a lot more on how we are shaping the future of India's hospitality industry together. You're more than welcome to join in and create some amazing memories. Amazing work by the brilliant teams. And this is what collaboration and partnership is all about. Let me also take a moment and thank all our exhibit partners. I'd like to thank Gleeds, Honeywell, King Coil, Hybeck, TNS, Kenwoods, Watt, Wellness Spa India, Wellspun Flooring, Walks, Ventronics, Toto, Dormakaba, Swastik Synergy, CSML. A big thank you to our wonderful partners. For those of you who understand the value of social media, we're going to do two kinds of pictures. One is going to be this very formal, serious picture, okay? And the second is going to be for Instagram. And you all know what we do, right? So we're going to have a lot of fun. Everybody who knows how to show a thumbs up, can I see a thumbs up on 3, 2, 1? Okay, please make sure you don't hurt the next person. Okay, we don't want any accidents. So what's going to happen is that when I say 3, 2, 1, you all have to say series by Marriott. Sounds good? And the voice should be in unison, like sound musical. Ready? Shall we try that? Okay. 3, 2, 1. Series by Marriott. Thank you so very much, everyone. It has been an absolute pleasure.